Welcome to Rapid Fire, navigating today's current events in 3 minutes or less. Earlier this week, the United States took a firm stance against the People's Republic of China. On Monday, Secretary Pompeo mentioned that the islands in the South China Sea were completely unlawful. In fact, China has been building these islands with your money. Money from your retirement funds have been funneled into the Chinese communication construction company's dredging unit. This is the organization that actually built the islands. So not only are the islands unlawful, they were paid for by US dollars. The US has put its foot down regarding this dispute because the Obama administration neglected to actually push back when the Chinese refused to acknowledge the international ruling from The Hague. The Philippines took their case to the international court. It was claimed by China that the international court had no jurisdiction, but in fact the international court ruled that it did have jurisdiction and that Chinese built the islands illegally. The Philippines, in other words, won. Of course, the Chinese Communist Party ignored the ruling and have been using the islands to put weapons to coerce neighbors in the region. One of the little known factors that we discovered when I was working on this in the Pentagon was that the islands in the South China Sea were actually paid for by Americans' retirement funds. That's because the Obama administration made a decision to allow Chinese companies to have access to Western capital markets, American retirement funds to build their companies. This was done in the belief that if those companies grew in power and China grew in wealth, they would become a democracy. And of course, the Chinese Communist Party refused to democratize, they refused to liberalize their society, and in fact, they continue to oppress their citizens and now the people of Hong Kong. In spite of all this, we should not expect direct conflict between China and the United States in the South China Sea or really anywhere else. That's primarily because they are both nuclear powers and they both recognize it would be far too dangerous for the world to get into a military conflict of that sort. Nevertheless, those islands are used as bases from which the Chinese Communist Party coerces the nations of the regions, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, and the Philippines, to be able to take their fish out of their exclusive economic zones, to be able to take the raw materials and oil that exists in the South China Sea and prevent those nations from actually having access to things that by international law are theirs for their people. Thank you for watching Rapid Fire. Tell us what you think in the comments section below. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell for our next episode, Coronavirus, Where Do We Stand Today?